Hi, it has never been more important to be visible, to make a connection digitally, and to be able to do that through a camera lens. Well, I'm here today in this session to give you 7 tips on how to make a connection, how to be visible, but in a simple way by just using your smartphone. Here are 7 tips. Tip number 1, make things visual. We're making a video, not an audio podcast. So let's make sure that you show people what you're talking about. You can do this with a background, a foreground, or perhaps by holding something up in the air, holding something in your hands. So think beforehand, what am I really going to show people? How is this going to be visually interesting? So use the right people in your video, use the right objects or props in your video to make it visually interesting. My second tip is be a person and try to make a connection with someone else. So don't just send out your information, but really think about who is going to be my viewer and what are the topics? What are their questions and problems? What are the things that they are maybe really concerned about right now? And how can I, as a person or as a team, help them and make that personal connection right now? So think about who your viewer is, and then also try to make that connection by having interaction with your video, asking people questions, inviting them to leave a comment and to replying on that comment as well. Be human. Tip number 3 is make sure you have good audio. If the audio is distracting, maybe there's distracting background noises, a TV that is still on or a truck that passes by, those can be really distracting. So what I recommend is before you start filming, before you hit record, listen to your surroundings. Make sure that there are no distracting noises. And if there are, try to turn them off if that's possible, or move to another room if that's possible. Of course, you can also use microphones. Well, I'm actually wearing a microphone right now, which this is the Rode SmartLav Plus. It's made for smartphones. You just plug it in and it works. It's amazing. But I also often use these. They're actually 2 wireless. This is a wireless set, which I love as well. So one is a microphone and one, there's a receiver and a sender, and it works really well. So there's of course different solutions to make sure that you have good audio. If you don't have a microphone, just listen to your surroundings. Make sure there's no reverb or echo, and try to turn off any distracting background noises. Tip 4, use the right light. So this is really obvious, but trust me, so often it goes wrong. Often what you only have to do is face a window and just look. All I'm doing is facing a window and look at the difference it makes. This looks so much more professional than when I was faced the other way. And all I did was change my angle. So that's what I really want you to look at when you're making one of your very first videos, is look at the light. What are your natural light sources? Do you have any windows? Can you go outside? And can you try to face the light? Can you try to face a window? This can make such a big difference in how professional your video looks, and also in how you can establish that connection and make sure that your message is actually coming across. So make sure you check the light. Then also, as a second step, oftentimes your camera, your smartphone will actually do this pretty well. But if not, so maybe you're looking into the camera and the light is a little bit off. On most phones, you simply tap your screen. So I'm tapping my screen in different spots now. And as you can see, the light becomes different. Woo! wherever I tap it. So you tap it usually on your eyes, which is what I just did, and then the exposure and the focus will be adjusted to my face. So that is another tip that I really want to give you. On most iPhones, you can also move that little sun you see right next to the square, and on most Androids, there's a light bulb that you can move, and then you can also manually change your light. Tip number 5 for filming with your smartphone is use the right framing. Whether you are filming a person or perhaps an object with your phone, if you use the right framing, so the right distance and the right angle, that can make all the difference. Okay, first of all, let me show you how to not put a person on camera. So what a lot of people do when they film someone is kind of like this, really far away, lots of space above the head and a lot of space next to you. What you really want to do is move a bit closer than maybe you want. So move up a lot closer, maybe here, and then stand kind of on the side. This is also what I'm using here is the rule of thirds. So you might have seen this on your phone. A lot of phones have a grid, and you can turn it on or off, but those are lines on the screen. And pretty much what you want to do is use those lines and stand on one of those lines. So you don't stand right in the middle, but a little on the side, and you can do this in interviews as well. You want to, of course, look into the camera lens, not look at yourself, but look into the camera lens. So you make that eye contact, and then you have a lot more space here to also put pictures and text, and there's more background space as well. So this is a good way to frame a person, whether it's you or someone you're interviewing. Now let's talk about perhaps you want to film something, maybe this book. Maybe you want to film an album with a lot of different pictures. How would you do that? So one of the things that you can do is just hold it right next to you. That's one way. You can also film it separately. And then in an app, put those pictures, put your video next to or over this video. So what you can do is, of course, make close-up shots of the book. You can film, I'll show you. You can film from different distances and angles. So say I'm filming this book with this phone. First of all, I can make a shot like this. This distance, this angle. Secondly, I could make a shot like this. This is also called eagle eye. So I'm right above it looking down. I could also do the other way, maybe an angle like this from beneath on an angle. I can also do a shot like this and perhaps a slow-mo or maybe a time lapse. Or I could, well, this is going to be difficult when you're by yourself. You need a little tripod for this, but you can hold the phone and then perhaps flip through the book, for example, so you have some movement. As you can see, what you want to do is try to think of creative, different ways to film an object. So instead of just holding it, try to think of this in different ways. How can I film this in an interesting way? Close up, further away, from above, from below, maybe with a time lapse, maybe with a slow motion, maybe with some movement. So I can hold the camera here and then just put the book over here. So try to think of different ways to film things, and that can really make your video a lot more dynamic. Tip number 6 is use the right apps. The great thing with your phone is you have everything in one device. You can film with it, edit it, and publish it all from your phone. Okay, my favorite apps of the moment are, first of all, Quik. Quik without a C. This is a great app for iPhone and Android, and it's free. It's great to make simple compilation videos. Perhaps you have a bunch of pictures and videos already on your phone or on your computer. Well, try to get them on your phone, and then with Quik, you can easily make a video out of them. You just put them in the app and Quik makes something out of it. Trust me, it's a great app. Check it out. So that's Quik. If you want to have a bit more control over your video, maybe you have interviews, maybe it's you doing a little vlog, so you want to have a bit more control over the length of clips and perhaps adding some text in or music or whatever it is, then I can also really recommend iMovie and KineMaster, because with those apps you can edit in layers. They're really wonderful. So those are the first couple of apps you want to use. And if then you think, well, maybe I want to spice it up a little bit and add some graphics or some text or my logo, I can really recommend the app InShot. So what you do is you first create a video, perhaps in iMovie, and then you export it to your camera roll, then you import it again in InShot, and perhaps there you can add your logo and maybe a few words here and there. And that can really help your video pop. And my final tip is make sure you caption your videos, and there are amazing apps out there that caption the video for you automatically. So if you have an Android phone, there's AutoCap. If you have an iPhone, then there's Mix Captions. And these apps are really amazing. So once your video is done, it's finished, you export it, obviously, then you import it in either AutoCap or Mix Captions, and then the app listens to your audio, transcribes the clip for you, and automatically captions the video for you. You can, of course, change the captions a little bit, and then you export it, and your video is captioned. It's really amazing. I use it all the time for my videos that I use on LinkedIn as well. It does cost a little bit of money. I think I paid maybe 10 or 20 euros 3 months ago. And I publish a video every week, and I'm still using the same credits. So I think it's probably less than €1 or less than $1 for each video, depending on the length of your video, of course. So the longer your video, the more credits it's going to cost. But it's really, really not that expensive, and I think worth every single cent. So I hope these tips helped and convinced you that you can do everything with your phone. You can film, edit, and publish with the camera in your pocket. My name is Palpina, and I would love to connect with you. There's a lot more that I can show you, so definitely check out my website for a ton of free tools. For now, have fun making videos.